Hey there, Aaron Reed coming at you live from Powerhouse Gym, downtown Tampa. Author of The Supernatural Lifestyle, tall guy master trainer, world's tallest bodybuilder, here to help you guys out a little bit. The first thing that we're gonna talk about right now is we need to touch on your workout splits, how you break it down, what's gonna be optimal for you and why. So as quickly as I can, I'm gonna run through how I put my workout together and explain a little bit so it makes sense to you. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to understand that you have to train really hard. The idea of growing muscle means tearing muscle down. You gotta tear muscle, okay? So the greater force you can use to tear muscle, the more you can recover if your nutrition's on point, okay? If you need to learn about nutrition, we'll talk about that later. I got my book, Supernatural Lifestyle, that outlines everything you need to do. I talk about things like manipulating your insulin spike, which is huge for a tall guy. I'll get into that later. But for the most part, what you need to understand is, if you want something to grow, you need to train it more frequently, okay? Regardless of what people say. I train my legs twice a week. I train my back twice a week. These are areas that I want to grow, and you almost can't have them too big, okay? One thing I know about tall guys is either tall guys have a dominant back or they have dominant arms. One of the two. It's usually never both, okay? But it goes like this, okay? So I come in, I take Sundays off. You know, Monday, I like to start off with whatever I want to work on the most. It's been back lately, so I'll do like a back and bicep workout. Now, the way that I'm putting things together right now, for me, that I found to be incredibly beneficial is I do low volume workouts, okay? And let me explain why, okay? When I'm doing these low volume workouts, that means my intensity is through the roof. I still move very quickly, but I'm doing maybe 8 sets total for a workout. So I'm getting done in 40, 45 minutes. And you're thinking like, well, how is that even gonna work? I thought the same thing when I started doing it. My friend IFBB Pro Russ Allen turned me on to this style of training. And after getting into it a little bit, I realized what was going on was, all right, we're very tall. It takes a lot of calories to run this machine, all right? Our glycogen stores are pretty much limited for our size. So the idea that your body probably doesn't produce enough insulin to store all the glycogen you want to store in this huge body, okay? It's just probably what's going on. So the best way to take advantage of that is actually increase your insulin sensitivity. So I'll talk about that a little bit when we get to nutrition a little later, but how that applies right now is simple. Like if you go through your workout and you come in here, you do a high volume workout and you kill it, all right? You're basically digging like a 6-foot hole, okay? And then when you go to eat, you're putting like 4 feet of sand back in, trying to be recovered. Now, you're gonna get harder, you might get stronger, but you're not really gonna grow, okay? So by doing a low volume workout, okay, what we see is, you basically dig in like, you know, a 2-foot hole, and then when you put that 4 feet of sand back in from your nutrition, you got 2 feet of progress. So that's what a tall guy needs to do, because you need to understand that you don't need to be in here beating yourself down for long hours, because being lean is not what you're trying to accomplish. We got that going on all day long, all right? What you need to understand is we want fullness, we want size, you know? Some of us are very strong, but some, you know, you want more strength, you know? But the fullness and the size is what a tall guy is constantly trying to achieve. So I'll come in and do a low volume workout like back and bicep on Monday, and it's something like this. I'll start off with pullovers, 3 sets, real heavy, controlled. Right after that, I'll go to assisted pull-ups, 3 sets with a rest pause, which is basically a split set. Something like you do like 8 reps, slow and controlled. I like to move very slow. I move very slow in my movements, even though I'm doing low volume. Let's say I'm doing these 3 sets. Once I get to this rest pause set, like I'm counting 4 seconds down. So if I'm doing pull-ups, I pull up hard, and then I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. And I pull up hard. Why am I doing that? I'm increasing my time under tension, even though I'm sticking to a low volume setup. So what happens is you want to use as much weight as possible, because you only have a couple sets to reach full muscle failure. That's what you want. When you hit full muscle failure, your muscles have been tore down, okay? And so as quickly as possible, you want to tear them down so you get out here, eat and recover. So I'll start off with like 3 sets of pullovers, then I'll do like 3 sets of assisted pull-ups, and then I'll do 3 sets of deadlifts, traditional deadlifts, not sumo because I want to grow my back, you know, or I'll switch it up and do like a heavy like T-bar row. And then I'll do like 1, maybe 2 sets for my biceps. That's it. That's it. And you're thinking to yourself, like, that's not enough. I felt the same way, but when you train that way, you start to realize like you only got so much in the tank. So let's utilize that to annihilate our fast twitch muscle fibers and then get out of your eat and grow. So that's like Monday. So coming in Tuesday, I like to put like chest on Tuesday because everybody does it on Monday. You know, it's International Chest Day, whatever. So I'll put chest on Tuesday, and it's the same deal. I warm up my chest with maybe a chest machine exercise, 2 or 3 sets, and then I'll go right over to like my heavy dumbbells. I'll do 3 sets of heavy dumbbell presses on a flat bench typically, or maybe a 15% incline depending on where I'm trying to hit my chest. That third set's a rest pause. It's like a split set. And then after that, I'll do some cable flies. I love cable flies. Being tall, cable flies work out way better for us than dumbbell flies, okay? Because cable flies, no matter where you are in this range of motion, it's pulling on you. There's tension the entire time, okay? With a dumbbell, you have tension, you have tension, you have tension, now it's over you. There's no tension in here. There's nothing. You gotta flex your chest and try to get somewhere. Stick to cable flies, they're way better. So I'll do 2 sets of that, and then I'll roll right into triceps, you know, because I'm doing chest and tri, and I usually do 1, maybe 2 sets of like some heavy dips with a rest pause set. And that's it, and I'm done. Come Wednesday, I like to do a heavy hamstring day with a little quad, all right? I do my legs twice a week, but I got a heavy hamstring day and a little quad. Typically, I do a couple warm-ups. I like to do hyperextensions on my toes, I like to point my toe, puts a lot of tension on the hamstring. I can demonstrate that later. I have a video at tallguytraining.com that I talk about, you know, what to do to get gigantic quads. You want to check that out. I go over everything in detail. So I'll warm up there, and then I do a little bit of leg extensions, you know, to get my quads going. All right, and then maybe some leg curls, just a little circuit set, maybe two times, you know, this circuit. So it's like 6 sets, you know, trying to get there. And then right after that, I like to squat. All right, I like to squat because I figured out a long time ago that when it comes to the squat, there's a big range of motion with our squat that we can cut out that we really don't need. And by doing that, we can keep tension on our quads with a smaller range of motion, and then we get so much more out of it in a faster amount of time. I'll go over that, you know, too as well. But I like to squat, and then I do things like hack squat. I love the hack squat being tall because hack squat's a machine, okay? So you can really direct tension. If you want more quad, you know, Tom Platt said, duck your feet, you know, drive tension to the outside of your feet and flex. If you do that, your outer quad's gonna grow, all right? If you wanna put a little bit more tension on the quad, put a little bit more pressure on your toes. Get off your heels a little bit and more on your toes, and you'll get more quad. You know, but since it's a heavy hamstring day, I just do that light, you know, a couple sets there, and then I like to go real heavy RDLs. You know, I might go 300 pounds, maybe 350, real heavy, all the way down, full extensions. 3 sets, low volume, okay? After that, Thursday's shoulders. In the past, I would do hundreds of reps to get my shoulders the way they are. That's great. And it takes a lot. I think shoulders can take a lot of abuse. It's ideal to have enough repetitions for your workouts before a low volume training is necessarily going to work for you. If you do high volume stuff, you need to make sure your form is good first of all, always first and foremost. But you know, you need almost that experience under your belt before you can do a low volume and get the most out of it. Because I've switched now to low volume and I'm going really heavy, which is something I never did for like my flies. I would always go really light, like around 20 pounds, maybe 30 pounds. Now I'm doing 40, 50 pounds on my flies, but I'm only doing, you know, 3 sets here, 3 sets here, 3 sets rear delts, and I'm done. You know, I like to throw in a little bit of shrug, but shrugs used to be my big thing. I'm very tall, and I got this long neck, like a giraffe. And so, you know, growing traps was always like, you know, almost like, I felt like a nemesis. Like I never had my traps right. And I've learned over the years that shrugs are okay for traps, but if you really want to grow traps, it comes from deadlifts and from heavy rows. That's where your traps come from. So if traps aren't growing, you're not going heavy enough on your deadlifts and your rows. That's it. You know, shrugs are good for a little added shape, maybe a little fullness throughout the week, but you're not going to see things dramatically change until you go heavy on your rows and your deadlifts. Come Friday, I cycle back through it, and then I like to do back and bicep again. Now I'll do basically the same workout I did Monday, but instead of maybe doing deadlifts, I'll do heavy rows. And then I'll pick a different bicep, workout. So instead of maybe using, you know, a preacher machine or a preacher curl with the bar, I might do just standing dumbbells. You know, I love going heavy dumbbells. I've done those for years. I find that to be really beneficial. Come Saturday, I always put legs on Saturday because if I come in here and kick my own ass, I want to make sure I can take a nap later or whatever I got to do. It's like the most important day of the week, you know, because no tall guy wants to have little pigeon legs, okay? It's like the worst thing. So you better get your mind right and just plan on doing legs on Saturday, okay? That's where you need to go, all right? Don't try to do them before work or whatever you got going on. Like, put them on a day that you have the day off. So I do them Wednesdays and Saturdays. That never changes. I will change everything else around my workout, but Wednesdays and Saturdays are leg days, like no matter what, okay? So there's that. And then for my leg training, I do the same circuit where I do hyperextensions, I do leg extensions, some leg curls, I get warmed up. And like I said, I like to squat, you know? You don't have to do a front squat just because you're tall to get big quads. I can show you how to just sit where the tension is and grow your quads. I still like the hack squat, and I'll throw leg press in every once in a while. I'm not a big leg press fan. We can talk about that, but some of the things I really like to talk to you about legs is getting your knee over your toe. People say not to do it. If you're tall, you need to get your knee over your toe. Obviously Sunday's the day off, and so that's pretty much the rundown for how I split up my workouts during the week. I got a free report for you. This is called the 7 worst testosterone killers. I want to check that out. All you got to do is click this box, put your little email in there, we'll send it right out to you. If you're on a mobile device, you can't click this box, so check the description below, it's right in there. Click that top link, 7 worst testosterone killers, to get the free report. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave some comments. Your opinion matters. We want to hear from you.